So you come into this knowing that the last game they had some problems. Again, though, maybe they've learned more from that loss and those mistakes they made from if they just blitzed alternate attacks. So this does look like it could be rough. AVEZ starting on the CT side, though, and Endpoint looking like they want to hit A fast.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, massive shocker, of course. Obviously, with the changes that have come in, I feel like mid and B are seeing a little bit more play, but typically A is still going to be favored more often than not, as Endpoint looking to bank some smokes over on the A side of the map, lockdown side, and Surreal now can push behind that. This is the smoke that just blocks off the boxes at the back of the side, stops you from being shot on the cross. They're going to fake that bomb out and try and draw the rest of the players in. Big one tap with a P2. 15 a second from Robin, who's looking to get a third, missing out narrowly, but he's already done so much damage now to AVEZ post plant.
I love that bait plant. It really just unlocks some angles there for Robin to tee off with the P250. And now they get the bomb down. Robin's just continuing to wreak havoc with the gun. He's also now spotted the flank. And he's gone out with the quad kill. So maybe Thomas taking a bit of a break. Vince, he definitely had a barn burner last game. And he's like, you know what, Robin, maybe you go ahead and have a little bit of fun this game.
Yeah, he's like, I want to put my feet up. You know,
yeah,
I need a massage. So if you want to just pop off with a 30 this time, that'll be nice. Full Deagle purchase from AVEZ this time.
A massage does sound good.
It does actually sound very good right about now. This is the first pistol that AVEZ haven't won. And they still lost the first map pretty handedly. So with Endpoint winning the pistol, you can only assume that things are going to get a little bit scarier.
Sure. Definitely a threat to be able to take a lead earlier on and get good control of the game, as we are going to see them already again having found some entry onto the A site. Eagles are trying to respond. There's a bit of a heaven boost that kind of went on there, but Robin was able to spot it without too much trouble, and now we have a falling UMP. I mean, everything's happened this series, really.
Yeah, and it feels like with everything happening in the series, it's all just stacking to AVEZ's woes. You know, just nothing is working out for them. Marcos, solid 1 deke, not too bad at all, but he's not going to be able to claim that gun because there's still more T's located around the vicinity, so he's going to be looking to save. Surreal is looking for that flank, and out comes Marcos, and he's put down. So they're not going to save a weapon, they're not going to save any Kevlar. They are basically into a full eco.
Yes. Except for Marcos. He's got a lot of money, but I doubt he's going to want to spend it. He wants that op as soon as he can. Maybe a P250 at most. He actually... Oh, he bought a taser, Vince. He's got the Zeus. We'll be following him with Hawkeyes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's going to the scaffolding as well. There's just smoke up. Vince, I'm loving this. I'm really loving how this is shaping up.
You know you want to, Marcos. Oh, no, his prey's been taken, but maybe Robin steps up to the plate and gift wraps himself across. He comes out the smoke, but Robin's up to the task. There's another 3 kills. Dust's heart's just been broken.
Yeah, a little piece of my soul dies every time someone doesn't get a Zeus frag when it's purchased. A little piece. Oh, man. Well, you know, it happens. But at least we're on to a full buy now from AVEZ, including AWP for Marcos. So maybe this is where they can finally put up some real resistance. It's been a tough start, that's for sure. That ain't it. That is not the flash you were looking for.
Certainly weren't it, Chief. AVEZ. First kill, but Thomas in the smoke again.
Bro.
How many smoke kills he got? It's outrageous.
Also, the ways that he's getting them, too. This is kind of unbelievable, really. There's a little bit of a boost that went on at B stairs in the meantime, which actually got caught by Kyler, and now Nalrat might have a chance here to find Thomas back, and indeed he does. So 4-on-2 for AVEZ, so this is a great start for them. See if they can finish it off. They should be able to. Just the 2 Ts remaining, Robin and Mighty Max, who will be able to get that AK in play on Mighty Max, but still have an uphill battle here.
Definitely an uphill climb, but Endpoint still have the firepower to potentially pick this one off. The timing's not going to favor them. Norrot looking for that second. It's an important round, not just in the sense of getting that first round on the board, but also AVEZ retaining 4 players, builds that up economy nicely, and gives them a real chance now to pivot off that and do something with it going forward.
Let's see what's going to happen here. Op now out for Crucial as well, so we could be seeing some outdoors going on here. Mighty Max is setting up the classic utility towards A side from spawn to kind of set up that A ramp's approach. And indeed, Thomas has gotten up close and personal here with this ump and has already found one. Might be able to find another. There is one right there looming in the smoke ahead of him. Hasn't quite connected the dots just yet, though. Oh.
Oh, no. It's all fell to pieces. It's shattered on the ground for AVEZ. They've been unable to get consistency on either of these maps, and it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon. Endpoint, aggressive up ramp, picking off all the kills, and through the smoke, Crucial times the shot to perfection. Bialy, 1-on-4. As that smoke is his sanctuary, but that is going to dissipate sooner rather than later, and he's going to be caught in an awkward position with Surreal already making moves around the backside to try and flank. Bialy does have a kit, does have most of his HP remaining, but it has now been cut down to 30. His position is known. They have eyes on him. Crucial misses his shot. Bialy is making a little bit more of this than anticipated, but this is where that aforementioned flank is just going to stick the landing, and Surreal has completely broken apart that economy from AVEZ.
Yep, it's all the win one, lose one for AVEZ. A couple of dominant rounds here recently from Endpoint. Going to leave them with a full buy still. AVEZ actually do force down here. They get 3 M4s, 4 M4s at the end. Does mean utility is certainly going to be lacking on some, and Nalrot with just the Deagle. And obviously lose here. Endpoint can really start simming ahead, and again they try to get aggressive at A-ramps, and again Thomas shuts it down. Brutal beginning to the round.
It's not going to get too much better. Bialy goes for that wide peek into Robin's AK, who continues to shift the gears. 10 kills to his name already. Surreal going to add an extra one to his tally. Another notch on the belt. And AVEZ looking like they are going to concede for the 5th time here on Vertigo. May just look to try and save the 2 M4s, and that's really all they can hope to get from this.
That's all they're going to have in the next round, that's for certain, considering most of their players are down to $0 at this point. Nalrot with the most at $100, so not really going to be able to do much about this, as the bomb will come into B and plant, and indeed it will be that 5-1 with AVEZ just saving if they can. I don't know that Endpoint will give too much chase here. Their own economy isn't really that great yet, so you don't want to have to do a lot of rebuying if you're Endpoint. So this should be basically where things end, Vince. Very similar start to the last game so far.
Oh, very similar indeed. Just the one round surrounded by Endpoint aggression and ruthlessness. No mercy has been shown, no prisoners taken. Mighty Max doesn't even have a single kill. He's just not been required so far. 0-on-1. The rest of his teammates have just been smashing everybody in their wake. So somewhat of a passenger this game. Of course, leading the charge in terms of the calls. But 5-1, and they're in an awkward position again, Dust. Like, do they, don't they? Do they go for the buy and potentially throw everything into the hat here, or do they hold off and know that they probably concede an extra round?
Yeah, this is a toughie. Obviously get some Deagles around this M4 to try to give it a bit more of a supporting cast around what rifles they were able to carry over, but still certainly far short of what you'd want. As Endpoint, it continues to have the free reign. This time they actually put a lot more focus on middle. Mighty Max and company starting to get out here, get those Molotovs out, making sure that no one's boosted behind the box. One of the main places CTs could actually play from the middle besides the, I guess, new heaven position at B or the 2 different doorways towards elevators and CT spawn. But adding that mid control is going to force CTs to be a little bit more spread thin.
Heavy middle control, hoping for the best here for Endpoint to push into this cluster of CTs, but they've done a very good job of bypassing and avoiding the confrontation. Kyler, I don't even necessarily want to call that a confrontation. It was very one-sided. It was just an AWP shot through the head. And the only kill that AVEZ can really muster up comes from Nalrot at the cost of 15, or 85, I should say, just 15 HP remaining. Right. There's a plant, and likely to be another round.
Yep, again, the M4s are just going to try to be saved. This time, though, there might be some chase given. I think Surreal is actually maybe nearby. At least one of them. Certainly he's trying to flank in behind him, but I'm not sure how much further he's going to go, so... Not sure if they'll be discovered or not, but the point is, Endpoint are now up 6-1, and again, a very similar crushing start to what we saw in Overpass, where they're just dominating the rounds. I mean, many of these rounds aren't even close. This round they'll survive with all 5, it looks like. Last round they survived with 3. They've never lost more than 2 in any of the rounds that they've won. So another dominant performance so far here from Endpoint, really.
Yes, it's been one of those matches where we can't really add too much color to what's happened. It's been pretty straightforward, right? Like, there's only so many times you can say that Endpoint are completely bossing AVEZ, and it's just across the map. They're winning their duels. I don't know what AVEZ can do at this point. I feel like a tactical timeout would definitely be worthwhile, but I don't believe they called a single one an overpass. So maybe we won't see one. But I just don't know what they can do. There's the aggression. They are at least going to get the first pick. So Surreal has been silenced. That's important. And AVEZ now can build off this.
Yeah, this needs to be the precursor to something good for AVEZ. This needs to be something they build upon. They cannot allow the scoreboard to do much more. And thank God for that extinguish, Vince, because otherwise Thomas would have been in a lot of trouble in the scaffolding there. As more utility comes in, it just skips over Thomas's head, though, so he's able to make some forward progress as Monty Mac shores up towards sandbags. So it seems like A is definitely in the cards again here from Endpoint.
Here comes a boost. The timing is good. The bomb has been dropped. Vital information. A vital passage of play. And crucial. Even the odds. That flick to Bialy. So good. They still find themselves trailing behind a player. No one is watching for that flank. So that will start to be in the back of their minds. Crucial with another one. Key, though, going to tee off from short side. And takes off Thomas's head. There's a second and the bomb to follow. So for all the heroics that Crucial has mustered up with his 2 AWP frags, it's unlikely he's going to get too much more out of this. Right. It seems like AVEZ at least will double up their tally of rounds, barring a really ridiculous play or a ridiculous mistake.
Yeah, just a lot of credit has to be given the Key there. He held a nice little off angle at short to get the first kill and push for another, and that basically sealed the deal. Unless Crucial somehow pulls this off. He's gotten 1 kill, he's got bomb back in possession, but there's little time left, and both CTs are playing very passive. His chances of getting the 2 kills or getting the bomb plan are slim to none, and indeed, Kyler will go ahead and dot the I's and cross the T's on the round, and that'll be 2-6. Still obviously favoring Endpoint substantially, but big round to win if you're AVEZ.
Ooh, double ops in play. AVEZ using the vast bulk of their savings into this. Of course, Endpoint still have a chunk of change at their disposal. Early grenades being traded out on ramp. And Endpoint again A. And this is something that I remember us talking about against alternate attacks, that they did seem to go A almost 90% of the time. Surreal through the smoke. Must have been able to see him from our perspective. Looked like it was through smoke, but the little icon didn't show. But Key's dead, whichever way you spin it. That's a great start for Endpoint.
No, absolutely. Exactly the way you want to respond to dropping the previous round is just jumping to a kill quickly here on this one without even really taking much damage along the process. Crucial continues to wreak havoc with the AWP there. A response shot attempted by Nalrot, but it's going to hit empty air. Does get one through the smoke that time, but he's got a lot more work to do if he wants to pose a real threat, but he's slowly chipping away at it. He's got it back into a 2 versus 3.
It's a good flashbang. You can see that really affects Thomas, who's now run out of bullets, has to switch to his Glock, and then gets 2 Glock headshots. Oh my goodness, not something you see too often in a full buy on both teams, but he's got it done. And not for the first time. AVEZ win a round, instantly lose. Their economy's been reset. They've been smashed down, back into position. They just cannot got anything. They can't connect the dots, Dust. Like, this is so rough to watch.
It really has been a bit of a knife there onto Thomas. Might be the most damage he actually takes in the map, it seems like. Comes from his own teammate's hand. Bit of a left tap, as we are on a full deco here from AVEZ. He trying to be a little bit aggressive on the ramps, but that fire will force him back into the A site. There is a mid push going on from AVEZ, as well as they're pushing through B stairs. So there could be a chance for some trickery here, some flanks, some weird peaks, but otherwise, Endpoint certainly are in cruise control.
Oof. I'll take the wind out of Surreal Sails as he is reeled out of the round. But Endpoint need to try and push behind this. Deagles are doing so much work. Endpoint going to be pushing back through. There's 2 players here. They're not going to be expecting both of them. And it's a complete clean sweep right now. Mighty Max is going to start getting some kills on the board, but AVEZ take it. How's that happened?
I mean, it really just comes down to that AVEZ took every other portion of the map but A. You know, they pushed through B stairs, got that flank off. They took mid, were able to flank that as well. So they knew that all 5 Endpoint members were A, and then they were able to basically get in around them. So it's just kind of what happens when you fail to have any presence anywhere else in the map. The CTs actually have the stones to go for pushes. They can gain so much from it. It's exactly what happened there. Big round to win if you're AVEZ. To do so on was essentially a throwaway round. We're going to try to get aggressive on B stairs again. There's a little bit of a gap here for Surreal to work with, Vince. It could get a little bit dicey.
Molly and Flash tossed out. Surreal. Seems like when Endpoint concede the first player, it always seems to be Surreal. Maybe it's because he's playing more of that sort of flanker or lone man position over on B, but it's not really working out for them. It's going to be another A hit. They have the bomb over here, so they're going to be fully committing behind this.
Yeah, that's a good baited play right there, where Surreal was so focused on the player at the top, he just didn't realize one had slipped down below. So a bit of a almost bait and switch play there from AVEZ, gets them their first kill of the round, so just good team play. Endpoint will respond with the same old heavy A pressure per usual, but this time Crucial not going to get away with that.
Oh, the big headshots from Kyler. This is more like it from AVEZ. Big round, Kyler 4K. The only player that's positive, killed to death right now for AVEZ, but they have finally broken away the economy. Finally, Endpoint will be into a save.
Yep. That's the thing, like, Endpoint never really had an out-of-control economy. I mean, there was enough of a break in some of their round streaks that their money was tapped into a little bit earlier on. So it has opened up the door just a little bit here for AVEZ. We do see Endpoint finally changing things up a bit, going for a mid play. This boost could be really deadly. Bialy not ready for that. He even had nade in hand. That's a big opening pick for Endpoint.
Oh, Mighty Max, though, just spinning across, flicking down to the head of Kyler. And how Crucial with the drop. Marcos wasn't expecting to, and also he's in such a rough position. Like, he knew that they were already barreling over the ramp, and so he had to watch behind him. Norot perching up on the ramp. Crucial missing a shot that could have put this round to bed. Instead, it's open, and it's very much alive for the CTs. As Key comes in with another one. Incendiary gets extinguished in amongst the smoke. The bomb planted in an awkward position for the CTs to get back on. They're whiffing their Molotovs and smokes as well. Crucial is going to take the first point of action, but it's only joined by the Glock of Mighty Max, who realizes it could be the fake. There's a slight gap in the smoke, and Crucial puts it down, nearly flicking through the smoke to dispatch the last player, and enough time may have elapsed that this round is done. He's going to have to get the kill really quick, stick on that bomb, and he knows it's over. So Endpoint going to get it done. Is AVEZ going to keep Key alive with the AWP? No. He gets blown to smithereens from the bomb, and Endpoint, on such a bad buy, have somehow made it work.
Yeah, this is off the back of kind of a crazy boost play in the middle to get the opening pick on Bialy, and Mighty Max was so fast responding to pick up the fallen AK and get another entry in on the B site. So a very quick 5-on-3 almost moment there. I mean, there was some resistance post from AVEZ, but in the end, Endpoint just had so much control of the site. So they will steal one a little bit early, so a bit of a tit for tat here these last couple of rounds. And really the last 5 rounds have been a little bit back and forth. Put both teams in a weird place when it comes to their economies. So this is a big round here. Big swing round ahead of us, and Key opens it up. Nice spam on the Thomas, a guy who has absolutely been a huge problem for them this series, already off the board.
Yeah, hasn't quite had the same level of impact as on Overpass. Hasn't really been called upon that often. Crucial. Just had the perfect angle of aggression. Kyler peeked into his AWP, and the rest is history. It's a labored spray. Norot takes a lot of damage, but does at least hold fast. Double Molotovs being put down on middle, making sure they don't push and overwhelm the CTs. But meanwhile, Surreal has got himself into a snaky position over on the B side. He's going to try and keep them interested. I think this is going to be another fake, and they're going to try and end on A.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Mighty Max already modeling out the sandbags and starting this progression onto the A ramps. There is a player in that typical boosted position that's going to be Key in the corner of the site. He's getting a rotation now as well from Bialy. Nalrot also is going to be pretty quick to get there to elevators if he's required, which he definitely will be. Surreal, though. Oh, the timing. He pulls out the molly right as Key peaks, but he stays alive, only for Bialy to find Mighty Max, though.
Bomb's in such a bad spot here, though, Dust. But they're still flicking across. Crucial is keeping this round alive alongside his teammate Surreal. How has it happened? How have they pulled this one off? Endpoint out of the ashes. when the bomb got dropped behind the side, I was thinking, okay, it's done. Yeah. When the player is peeking towards the back boxes, I think it was Surreal, and misses that timing and pulls out a Molotov. I'm thinking, okay, it's done. And yet here we are, 9-4, and AVEZ into a save again.
There was so much chaos at the end of that round. It was actually kind of hard to follow, but just the succession of kills winds up favoring Endpoint. So now they steal a round away early, capitalize on that one, and they've put AVEZ into deco territory and a chance to get double digits here on their T side. Surreal, not going to allow that flank to have any legs to it. 5-on-3 very quickly here for Endpoint.
Big deke from Bialy and Key. Surreal. Any rifle, SMG, he's probably a goner. He's going to survive on 8 health. Good Molotov put down and a flash behind it. Going to stall Endpoint a little bit longer. Are we going to have AVEZ return the favor, though, and break Endpoint's streak here and now? Surreal is going to stick around. Now has Mighty Max alongside him. They'll be pushing towards B. Bialy, the stand-in, the veteran, the player with so much experience. He's been in positions like this so many times, but it's only 1 kill as Mighty Max's UMP rattles his skull. And now AVEZ have a 1v2. Otherwise, it's going to be Endpoint on 10 rounds already.
He's trying to flank around here with the AK-47, but that smoke will pause for a delay, and seems like it should be impossible here from him. He's actually creeping through the smoke vents. He's gotten in the sight. He's absolutely blindsided Crucial, and he can't win the 1v1 against Mighty Max, though. That was a brilliant effort, but just not close enough, as it will be double digits for Endpoint. 10-4. Last round, obviously, AVEZ will buy all that they can. It's going to be a pretty decent buy, all things considered. Maybe a little bit of lack of utility, but everything else they should have in play that they would want. But again, Endpoint just dominating the scoreboard.
Yeah, I mean, out of context, you'd think that's a really good result for AVEZ. You know, you've gone in for deagles, etc., and you've nearly pulled that off and took 4 players down. But in confines of being 10-4 behind with a good buy for the last round, but not a great result. Not really good enough, all things considered. Endpoint have a very real chance of ending this half 11-4, which for me would be a bridge too far. There goes the aggression from Norrot. Lack of utility presents itself a favor and a chance to Endpoint, and they do capitalize. They bite down on that chance. And actually, they've completely sold this fake. They've hit A so many times. They've read this script so many times here, AVEZ. They're not expecting a fast B hit, and it's going to be coming up soon. They're looking to actually boost over and have a quick check before they go for it.
And utility is starting to pour out now. Endpoint looking to really crack open. You can tell that they do have some smokes and such planned. Kyler having to just kind of play from behind them and really just going to have to concede this bomb plant. Not much you can really do about that, and the retake going to be so difficult to man down with limited utility.
Yeah, and the bombs has been planted. Grenades are flying. Molotov, smokes, everything you can ask for. That flashbang is absolute perfection. And Thomas will clean up the remaining CTs alongside Robin. Only Bialy and Kyler left standing in the wake of another devastating round, another devastating half of Counter-Strike for AVEZ. 11-4. And Endpoint really are looking very formidable indeed.
Now, you could tell that either we just didn't see their full playbook when they played attacks last week, or they've done some work on this map since then, because I feel like the utility they just used on that B-side execute was a little bit more complex, had a bit more breadth to it tactically, and so it's nice to see that they were able to throw in some different looks. It wasn't just pure A. They had a couple of mid takes, they had a couple of B set pieces, so it's not that they're a little bit more diverse, and it certainly netted them a big result. 11 rounds is a great starting point to probably 2 other series, Vince. I mean, AVEZ really have to get some work done here and fast if they want to keep this series alive. Endpoint have just been absolutely, like I said, kind of in cruise control really all the way through. They haven't really met much resistance. I mean, there was a brief period in overpass where it seemed like AVEZ were posing a bit of a threat, but nothing too severe. It's really just been the Endpoint show.
Yeah, I mean, it has looked pretty comfortable from start to finish with the best of 3. Now, maybe things do get a little bit interesting if AVEZ can take this pistol and maybe break that economy of Endpoint a couple of times. We could start to talk about an Inferno 3rd map, but that seems so far in the distance, so far in the future. Hasn't really seemed like Endpoint have broken any sweat, and their aim has been on point. Robin opening up his account. Crucial. Mighty Max at the bomb that's gone down as well. At least Bialy comes back with 1, but Mighty Max closes the door, closes the chance one more time. Key's been smoked off. Oh, and to add insult to injury, Surreal pierces the smoke, perforates his head, and Endpoint have a 12-4 lead.
I mean, it's been a while since I've seen a series go this awry for a team where they just can't get much going. Looks so out of their depth.
They really do. It's been so brutal to watch this. I mean, on the one hand, you feel for AVEZ. Like, you can really see that they're a team that is trying their best to get some chemistry there, but it's not quite on point. And on the other side, Endpoint have just been so damn good today. You know, we've seen very different kind of performances from them. This has been definitely a big thumbs up, and it's putting down the T's one more time. They're hitting so many headshots because obviously they've got Glocks and a full Glock buy. MP9 comes in. I mean, 3 kills with Glocks really is a very good outcome. Sure. All things considered.
It's just one of those things where when it's this bad of a score, though, it kind of takes away some of the bite from something like that. Maybe if it was closer, you're doing economic damage, you could say that had a lot of impact, but I'm not sure how much it'll really matter. I mean, it does force MP9s out from Endpoint, at least in this particular round. So here, at least AVEZ have earned themselves a firepower advantage. Now they actually have to do something with it. This is a must-win round for AVEZ. One of the best looks you're going to get as far as having an edge over your opponent.
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to say, why does Crucial not have a weapon? I think the MP9 was dropped at spawn. He realized it late, so he went back and picked that up. So 3 assault rifles, 2 SMGs. AVEZ looking to try and take some middle control. Bomb still dropped back towards the T spawn. A lot of... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you see Suro getting a little bit aggressive here on the B side, so he's getting a little bit of information on that front. The A defense, though, has been kind of pushed back.
Yeah, that's kind of my concern a little bit here. Oh, that's a big kill, though. Great wall bang into the head of Surreal. Now, Endpoint did, keep in mind, fully invest into this round. They got everything they possibly could. They wanted to end this one quickly. So if AVEZ can win this, they are on a good track to getting back into this matchup. And it's all Kyler. Big entries. He gets 3 of them. I thought he was going to get a 4th, as Mighty Max did walk into his crosshair, but a little bit too slow on the trigger. But he's done enough damage to put his teammates in a great position to claim this round, and they will do just that. Great round from AVEZ. Endpoint into a very awkward position financially.
And this is where AVEZ can maybe start to spread their wings a little bit. This is where you need to start gaining some ground. I say that Endpoint are actually fully investing into this again. I mean, it's understandable. Like, you weren't going to get a full buy regardless next round, so you might as well put something into this. But it creates that space for AVEZ now to get a couple of freebies and get themselves maybe back in striking distance.
It certainly does. But we have seen Endpoint win rounds just like this before against AVEZ in this best of 3. So as much as I want to say, okay, AVEZ, welcome back. You are certainly in a position to make this an interesting game. At the same time, I'll be holding my breath a little bit until I can get across the finish line here in round 19. Bialy does spot Robin, jumping up and down, looking for info. Has gathered some. Oh, Crucial playing in the tight angles, going to get 1 and able to survive as well. The fact he doesn't get counter-fragged is huge, but here comes Norrot. Just blunt force trauma through the ramp, joined by a couple more players. The UMP doesn't do enough damage, and somehow Norrot survives. I thought he was 100% going to die. And that should be the round that follows. So a couple of dodgy moments thus, but it seems like they have bypassed the bulk of that threat.
Yeah, they only lost 1 player. So, I mean, while there was a couple of scary moments, I guess, a couple bumps in the road, they were able to handle it just fine. And now Endpoint do have to do a full save here, so there's a chance for AVEZ to get the 7. Feels a bit like deja vu. You know, it seems like something similar kind of happened on Overpass, where they started to make like a mini comeback, but never really got into dangerous enough waters for Endpoint to actually put the pressure on them. And a little bit too early to tell what's going to happen here, but again, this comeback is going to feel a little bit empty until they can actually win a couple of convincing buy rounds.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But I mean, I did mention this before, and I'll pull up the stats. I told that for a second. There's a stack in the middle. There was maybe a hope or a chance that we'd see this stack yield more than just the 1 kill. That hasn't been the case. But against alternate attacks, Endpoint started the game 7-1 in the lead. At one point, they were 8-4 in the lead as well, and they lost from that position. Now, I'm not saying that history is going to repeat itself, but it is eerily close to how this game started. So we know in the past they have choked a lead like this. I'm not saying it's going to happen again, but if AVEZ have done their homework, they'll know this is always a possibility. They can stick in this and potentially pull it back. And there was Crucial chilling on the boxes. It did at least put a little bit of a shock to the system, but it won't be enough for Endpoint to get the round.
Does at least force a good bit of rebuying out of AVEZ, so their bank accounts can't quite swell as much as it would have with a clean victory there. And now Endpoint are back into a bye, but it's still not really ideal. Money Mac has to go for the UMP to be able to get utility. There's no op for Crucial. There's only one kit in play. Isn't necessarily terrible. They can still make good on that. They're smart. A little bit of early chip damage from Robin's grenade there into middle onto Narot. Puts him in one-tap territory even for the M4s. Oh, Surreal. Gonna get burnt to a Chris. Actually does escape and actually gets a kill. That's not bad considering the position he was in. Even trades on B is what's gonna break out. It's gonna favor AVEZ a slight bit. It's gonna give a lot of breathing room to the key.
AVEZ. They're proving they're a resilient bunch of players. Endpoint still struggling. They've been submerged here on the CT side. It's a big kill from Mighty Max though. Gonna grab onto that life raft a little bit longer. Going to be joined by Crucial. They're pushing through together. That smoke is going to be a bit of a pain in the backside, but it will clear sooner rather than later. But I think they've already given up any prospect of stopping this plant from going down. Now it's all about the retake. They have 2 smokes, 2 incendiary, and a flashbang. But the up-close player of Key could be a real issue as he peeks perfectly. He catches Mighty Max with a grenade out. And now Crucial tries to wide swing, and Bialy is there to swat him away. AVEZ, their 4th consecutive round.
It's just a combination of that even trade on stairs with a Narot being able to get that kill through the mid portion of B. I think that frag was key to get them in the side, get that bomb planted, and then, yeah, just catching a timing on that retake attempt with nade in hand on a couple of Endpoint players, and now it's left Endpoint on just basically a deco at the 5-7 on Robin. Full AKs here for AVEZ. This is where they can really start building something. If they win this and then one more full buy round, I feel like at that point the comeback truly is on. Interesting spot from Surreal, though, Vince. No way this gets checked.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it will, but it's whether he doesn't get much of a chance to have any impact.
Wow.
And it does get checked. Kyler just comes straight around the corner and bangs him out. And that was maybe one of their main keys to success. If Surreal can get a 1D, pick up a rifle, flank behind the T's, then maybe there's a way back in. But with his death, the round should follow.
Does seem that way. Just a couple of more kills with the AK on the B side of the map, leaving Mighty Max solo here on A. He's in the right place, but way too many T's against him, and so another victory here for AVEZ puts him to 9. Big round here. Again, I think this is the round where we can truly say that there's something to this comeback from AVEZ if they can find this one, but it's the first full buy Endpoint have actually had in a while where they actually have, you know, full rifles and an AWP. They've been on the back foot economically for a bit, so this is their chance to finally clamp back down.
Yeah, sure, and they definitely have the talent with the players to make this a reality. Crucial with the timing peak onto Key. Wants to make sure he doesn't overstay his welcome, but the smokes are going to give him that sense of safety. Norrot, I think Thomas assumed he got the kill because he already turned back after landing the dink. Realizing that's not the case, he now just has to basically pull back, and that's where the smoke and Molotov can actually keep them interested in middle.
And Robin, though, gets aggressive on B side with some help from Surreal, I believe it was, indeed. So they're going to be able to get a lot of information on B side of the map. And this allows Surreal to kind of help focus up and assist any type of mid defense while on the A players to stay pretty settled in.
Mighty Max could hear the footsteps from a mile away, so he will just back away, dips out, throws a smoke down, stalls the push. This now allows Endpoint to start to take more aggressive maneuvers towards the A side of the map. They're just going to make sure this isn't a fake, though. There's still plenty of time for a re-rotation, such as Vertigo being such a small map. And they are doing just that, by the way. They're heading towards B from underground.
They still do have a player in position, though, with Robin, and Surreal's not too far away. So I'm not sure if they'll be able to catch the timing here or not. It seems like Endpoint are pretty firmly entrenched on the A side, though, and actually, Surreal went all the way around.
Robin, backside of the site, tosses in a flash, stays alive. Very important for his teammates. It's fine if they give the bomb plant. They need to make sure they've got something to work off. But now he has fallen down. Smoke for the cross. Flash is coming over. Going to be landing in the eyes of the CTs. A 4v4. couple players are fairly low, though. But Thomas peeks out before the rest of his team can get close. This is a really important round for AVEZ to hold on to. But break the economy. It would be 10 rounds towards themselves. But Surreal comes out, gets one. Bialy, the backside of the site with the AK, is still rattling heads. Is still keeping this round alive for AVEZ. And they may have done enough. Yep. Endpoint don't want any further part of this. They're going to save. AVEZ only have a 3-round deficit now.
AVEZ were just able to kind of catch a situation where Surreal had really committed to reinforcing the A defense, which left Robin stranded on B. While he did well to try to buy some time, and he did get the rotation for his teammates through middle, it just wasn't enough in the end. Big round from AVEZ to win, and they'll be able to keep guns on 3 players. They have plenty of money rolling in now for Key and Kyler to buy around them, so their economy is really well set up for the rest of the game. It's really Endpoint now, who I feel like are up against the ropes. Their economy is in pretty much disarray. They're buying what they can into this round, but it includes a couple of SMGs and only a deagle for Thomas. So they didn't fully invest into this one. They've left them some money to work with after, but they're still in a really tough spot actually now. There's definitely a door cracked open for AVEZ.
They've still got to move through that door, though, Dust. They've still got to break through it. And oh, no, they've broken their wrists against the door as they try and bat it down. They've lost 3 players moving into B. A crossfire established, only 6 HP lost in return. Endpoint have been up against the ropes, as you said, but they've just thrown out that wild haymaker, and it's caught flush on the chin of AVEZ. They're staggered. They haven't quite been put down yet. But my God, are they close. Key and Marcos have to try and somehow remedy this situation. And considering the positions of Endpoint, I can't see a way in for them.
Feels like it would have to be Key somehow getting in through this new B Heaven position and kind of opening up the B site by getting a bit of a backstab in. But I feel like Robin's actually covering that pretty well. That's all going to come down to the timing between Key and Robin. If Key can get this kill and get into B, it could maybe give a way for Marcos and him to pinch these 2 players towards B stairs. But outside of that, it's looking pretty grim for AVEZ. And yeah, Robin, he's going to catch it. That's going to be the end.
They're going to be able to trade up to so many weapons as well. They know that all these guns are down where Marcos has just been tagged. They're just 15 HP and finished off. AK-47s are plenty for Endpoint. They're going to cash in big time, and AVEZ now struggling. They have the economy to supply more buys, Dust, but I mean, that's got to hit your confidence. Getting effectively forced but like that, being 14-10 down again, like that's got to sting.
It does. Especially how quickly it happened, just trying to go for like a normal B stairs presence and just get caught by the aggression of Endpoint, who, to be fair, have been doing this quite a lot, and they're going to do it again. This time it's Robin spotting the barrel of the AK, coming out for the full spray. He does commit pretty wide, though, so Kyler will be able to at least get the revenge frag and keep that from getting a little too crazy.
Flashes through onto the B side. Just Surreal, who's stood in close proximity, and now going to have Crucial coming in. They switch positions. The AWP's going to go for the peek and gets the drop onto Kyler. If they push aggressively into this AVEZ, it is going to end very poorly indeed. As Norot finds out firsthand, he is also put down with authority. A 4v2. AVEZ really grasping at straws. Do you at least have the bomb, Dust? That's maybe one small bit of optimism. It's not been dropped out on B, which would basically be a death sentence.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of grasping at straws at that point. But yeah, I guess it is at least going to help something. At least they have a couple of options. And again, it's going to come down to Key. What kind of play can he make, as he has gotten in behind Crucial right now? He's trying to find extra, which, to be fair, he needs to. 1 kill is not good enough in the situation. He needs to see if he can figure out something else. But eventually, his hand is forced. He took that as far as could. He actually opened up the B-bomb site completely, but he doesn't have the bomb. The bomb still has to make its way over to him, and while that's happening, he eventually could just be found out, as a couple of Endpoint members have gotten in position. Indeed, now he is down. That's all on Bialy, who is forced to commit here now. He doesn't have the time to go anywhere else.
1v3, draws the first player out, goes for the spray, misses it, has to relocate, and Thomas will clean him up. 15-10, AVEZ, 5 match points to secure their position in the semi-finals.
It seems like Endpoint have finally woken up a bit here on this map. Vince, maybe there was a brief period where they got a little bit too relaxed and a little bit too, I don't know, content, I guess you could say. But now they realize what's going on, and they've woken up, and now they're at 15-10. So moments away from 2-0 and moving on to the semifinals. One last ditch effort here from AVEZ, trying to go fast up the A ramp.
Those grenades, though, just splitting open Bialy and Key on the approach. They have taken early ramp control. That's really only half the struggle.
Yep.
No players on side, though, from Endpoint, to be fair. So AVEZ have managed to rummage their way up there. Flashbang over. Lands in the face of Key. He's going to stall for a few more moments. Bialy going to be joining him. The boost nearly works out.
Yeah. Thought it would do more, but hit damage so far being dealt both ways. So I would say Bialy's taking the brunt of it with 40 HP left. These stalling tactics are doing wonders for Endpoint. They've really kept AVEZ confined to this A ramp area. Kyler is going for maybe a bit of a play through middle, but I think it's being spotted right now by Robin.
Mighty Max perched up close. Oh no, he walks into the Molotov. Deary me, it may not end up mattering at the end of the day, but it's going to be embarrassing at the very least. It's all down to Nora. 1 versus 4, running through the smoke. Connects the first, but it's going to be a 16-10 victory